Still on the matter. Which matter? The Tinubu matter, the Nigerian matter, the election matter. The headline which we have for today says the European Union report on Nigeria's 2023 elections were reliable. Atiku's camp reacts. Well, it's a proof APC Tinubu rigged. Well, I don't really understand that English, but let's give us a narrative. Okay, let's read through. Now, the article which says European Union EU report on Nigeria's 2023 elections reliable. John Alechenu, from Abuja, is giving us a report. The People's Democratic Party, the presidential campaign, has described the report of the European Union Election Monitoring Group on the 2023 general elections, which concluded that the last election was fraught with irregularities. Yes, that's the word. And they also failed to meet the minimum standard. Now, meeting the minimum standards, in what essence? Meeting the minimum standard to monitor the 2023 general election. Now, the People's Democratic Party, a presidential campaign, has described the report of the European Union Election Monitoring Group on the 2023 general elections, which concluded that the last election was fraught with irregularities and also failed to meet the minimum standard of credibility as being credible. Mr. Frank Shaibu, Special Assistant on Public Communications to the People's Democratic Party (PDP), the presidential candidate Atiku Abubakar, said this in a statement in Abuja late on Sunday. He took a swipe at the spokesperson for President Bola Tinubu for trying to discredit the European Union's report. Shaibu noted that even the dead knew that the last election lacked credibility, and even the Independent National Electoral Commissions had been unable to explain why nearly 5 months after the election, it had refused to upload the full result on its result viewing portal. He said even primary school children who did not vote know that INEC, which is Independent National Electoral Commission, failed woefully, and that Tinubu rigged the last election. Rigging election is not even a new thing in Nigeria as it is, but the way and manner the election was rigged, according to this article, I would say it's a clean job, it's a neat job, and Tinubu is a politician, and I know, but the narrative the Nigerian politics is facing, or the kind of politicians we have, they will still come outside and tell you politics is dicey. There are no permanent friend in politics. I don't understand what kind of politics is that, because I believe the word politics, I would say is derived from policy, or policy is derived from politics. Now, the policy they practice makes it political, and they that are practicing the policy as being political, they are the politician. If they do not know, politics is not dicey. Politics is not man-to-man. Politics is embedded under government, and what it is, government in essence does not mean because the typical government we have, the Nigerian leaders or politicians are the government. No, government, they say, you understand, it's an arrangement of group of people coming together to form a body and create laws, to create constitution, institution, and give a perspective, and also in place there will be policy in place. So that is what it is. But in our case, the kind of system of governance we practice is democracy, which is different from parliamentary system of governance. But notwithstanding, let's leave that for another time. What we're talking about, what the European Union reports on Nigeria's 2023 elections saying. Now, for those that are the opposition party, I believe, and I know the angle they are coming from, I'm not saying they can't air their opinion, but what I'm saying in essence is that since they are opposition party, a normal typical like minds like you and I would want to assume they are trying to, bring evidence or leak a secret that is hidden, or trying to wiggle around APC. That is what a layman would understand. But notwithstanding, and according to Shaibu, when he noted that even the dead knew that the last election lacked credibility, and same Mr. Frank, special assistant on public communications to the PDP, which is the presidential candidate Atiku Abubakar, said this in a statement in Abuja late on Sunday. And what he even said about the Nigerian election, as per even children that do not know their left from right, according to Shaibu, says they knew, or they still know, that the election was not free and fair. As he said that even the dead knew that the last election lacked credibility, and even the Independent National Electoral Commission had been unable to explain why nearly 5 months after the election it had refused to upload the full result on its result viewing portal. This is appalling. He said even primary school children who did not vote know that INEC failed woefully and that Tinubu rigged the last election. Well, the presidential election held on February 25, 2023, and yet as of July 2nd, 2023, the result of the presidential election has not been fully uploaded. This is despite the fact that this election was the most expensive in the history of West Africa. Well, how can an election in which the full results have not been fully uploaded after nearly 5 months be described as credible by anything human being? Well, described as a nonsensical. Alake's claim that the EU, which is the European Union, was a meddlesome interloper for discrediting the poll. Shaibu said it was hypocritical of the Nigerian government to receive millions of dollars from the European Union EU as election fund and then turn around to claim that the EU has no right to make comments on the election. He said the EU said in September last year that it budgeted 39 million euros for Nigeria's 2023 election. Wow, where did they see that? I believe it's from borrow. Now you go get 39 million euros at hand. Euro is more than dollar, so even if you talk about 39 million dollars, you know that there is problem and there are fires on the mountain. Not only one fire. Okay, there is fire on mountains, many mountains. Voila. Hey. How I wish I can continue, because time is not on my side. I try to manage the time up to 8 minutes so that I don't exceed that time. At the time which is under the community guideline or thereabout. Yeah, from 8 minutes, upward. That's what we do, and that's at the time we, consider concerning the news. Well, this is where I'm going to draw the curtain. I would, form a part 2, or I would try to articulate it in the next news. Well, thanks for listening, and God bless you.